The young guns, Jason Kipnis and Lonnie Chisenhall, pick up the slack. The Indians needed a boost, and they got it from Lonnie Chisenhall. His home run ignited a 5-run third inning, which helped lead to a win over the Royals. Justin Masterson, coming off perhaps his best start of the season, looks to keep the train rolling as the Tribe goes for its 6th win in 8 tries against Kansas City. Next on Sports Time, Ohio. Downtown Cleveland as the Indians continue a 3-game series tonight against the Kansas City Royals. Hi again, everyone. Matt Underwood alongside Rick Manning. Tribe got back on the winning track with a victory in the series opener last night. And Rick, lost in all of the injuries that hit the Tribe over the weekend in Chicago, the emergence of Jason Kipnis, 4 straight multi-hit games. This guy knows when to hit the gas.
Well, you know, Jason Kipnis, doesn't matter where you hit him in the lineup. You can lead him off second, third. He's hit everywhere. This guy he knows how to play the game of baseball. He's dirty. He gets out there. He can run. He can hit. He can bunt. And I'll tell you, he's really starting to play some excellent defense at second base. He's just starting to get used to the big leagues. So he's only going to get better as this year goes on. But over his last 6 games, 500 average, 5 multi-hit games. So it's been fun to watch Jason grow up as a major leaguer.
No doubt about that. And, of course, Lonnie Chisenhall made an impact last night in his first game of the season as well. Now the Indians will turn to Justin Masterson, hoping he can have a big impact on tonight's game the way he impacted the win over Detroit his last start.
Well, let's just hope he continues to build off that last start. He was matched up against Justin Verlander, and he matched him pitch for pitch. Ended up beating the Tigers and going on for that sweep. He's pitched very well in this ballpark. It will be his first start against the Kansas City Royals this year, and this year he's 2-3 with a 4.62. So we got to get him going, get him on track. He's matched up against left-hander Will Smith, making his 2nd career starting appearance. He was up against the Yankees, and they lit him up pretty good.
Our Nissan Road Ahead pitching matchup. Get to a Nissan dealer for great deals on innovation you can count on. The first place Cleveland Indians try to stay on top in the division as they battle the Royals from Kansas City, and it's next on Sports Time Ohio. Tuesday Night Baseball on Sports Time Ohio is brought to you by your Northern Ohio GMC dealers. Another warm evening in downtown Cleveland as the Indians and the Royals get ready for Game 2 in this 3-game series. Justin Masterson making his warm-up tosses. Let's take a look at Ned Yost's starting 9 for KC, brought to you by Kia. Alex Gordon in the leadoff spot. Johnny Giavotella gets the start at second base in the 2-hole. Then Billy Butler hitless last night. Mike Moustakas in the cleanup spot. Then Jeff Francoeur. Eric Hosmer batting 6th. 3 homers already in 10 games here in Cleveland. Alcides Escobar, Jarrett Dyson, and Humberto Quintero round it out.
Justin Masterson on the mound for the Indians tonight, brought to you by MLB.com at Bat 12 for the new iPad. And Masterson now is making his first start against the Kansas City Royals this year. He was 3-1 last year in 5 starts. Had a very good year. We'll see if he can continue that this year. In his career, 4-3 against the Royals.
All ready to go as Alex Gordon steps in. Masterson the wide, and the first pitch fouled back. Gordon aggressively getting after it. 76 degrees, our game time temperature tonight.
This is a Kansas City Royals that they do. They have a tendency to get after fastballs at first pitch, so you have to make a pretty good quality pitch.
He lines this into right field for a base hit.
They waste no time. Take a look at the Indians' defense, brought to you by Pat O'Brien Chevrolet, saluting the men and women defending our country and watching on the Armed Forces Network. Cunningham gets a start in left field. Brantley in center, Chu in right. Chisenhall at third, Diaz at short, Kipnis at second, Lopez at first, Carlin behind the plate.
Hunter Wendelstedt calling the balls and strikes tonight. Then it's Dan Bellino at first, the crew chief Jerry Lane at second, Bob Davidson down at third. Johnny Giavotella takes a strike. Hitting just $189 on the year. 0 for 5 in his last start on Sunday against Baltimore. That hit by Alex Gordon was the first hit by a leadoff hitter in the series for Kansas City. They were 0 for 9 yesterday starting off an inning. And as we know, getting your leadoff man aboard is one way to spark a rally. Makes it a lot tougher otherwise. Giavotella with Gordon at first, held there by Jose Lopez. And a tapper toward second, slowly hit. Kipnis gets one there. Diaz he dropped the ball on the transfer, so they get the out. And now Ned Yost is going to pick up where he left off yesterday. He's got a beef with the umpires already.
Well, he was going to come out and try and make the throw. They would not have gotten him at first base, and he's saying he never really had, possession of it. Arguing with Jerry Lane. They were going to get the one, but it looked like from our angle because his hand was already making the turn to make a throw. You have to have possession of it in the glove, and on the transfer, he's saying he dropped the ball. So let's take a look at it and see what we think from here. No. I'll tell you what. They may have a legitimate beef there. He never had possession of that ball. Look at that ball, never stuck in the glove. Ooh, they may have caught a break. What do you think?
I'm not even sure his foot ever touched the base either.
That, I'll tell you what, so far the Indians have had a couple of breaks in this series.
Billy Butler looks at a ball down low. Butler yesterday 0 for 4. He saw 19 pitches in his 4 at-bats yesterday. 13 of those were strikes. Swing and a miss. It's 1-1. Butler came into this series in a home run binge. On pace to break the Royals' single-season home run record. Gets away from Carlin. Down to second goes Giavotella.
Well, this young man's got his work cut out for him tonight with Masterson on the mound because his ball moves all over the place. He was sitting away and he missed his target by a little bit, but you can see you're going to have to be very active back there. It'll go as a wild pitch. Masterson not an easy guy to catch.
Runner in scoring position with one out for Billy Butler now. And a 2-1 count. Takes a slider for a strike. Masterson is a guy who will throw primarily sinking fastballs all day long, but occasionally he will use the slider, whether it's to set up a hitter to get ahead in the count or to try to get him to chase when he is ahead. The 2-2. Fastball ripped foul. Mike Moustakas, the on-deck hitter. Just underway here at Progressive Field. And the 2-2 from Masterson. Popped him up. Another slider. Had him out in front. Really good change of pace. Had Butler fooled. And that's out number 2. And you don't see him fooled very often. That's
one of the guys you may want to break that slider out to, just to let him know. Then makes that fastball a little more effective.
Our league leaders brought to you by your Cleveland Akron area Lexus dealers. We got two of the best as far as guys who can keep it on the ground. Derek Lowe and Justin Masterson.
Yeah, Lowe's incredible. 3.31. He's just a power sinker guy, and Masterson is not far behind as we get to see the first fly ball of the night.
I was interested to see David Price on that list. I wouldn't think of him as being a ground ball kind of a pitcher.
Well, the changeup to all the right-handers he has to face, and he's a strikeout guy. So you're right. You wouldn't think of him because maybe he has so many strikeouts.
Oh, that's hit down the line, deep but hooking foul.
He's got a nice little slider down and in too that he can get the right-handers to roll over on. We haven't seen him yet this year,
no.
So did have an opportunity to watch him a few times on television.
And I don't think we will till July, right?
Right, but it's right after All-Star break. We go to Toronto and then Tampa. They come in here right before the break, and we go down there after the break.
Runner at second. That's Johnny Giavitello with 2 down. Mike Moustakas, 1 for 2, but he walked twice yesterday, and he's ahead in the count now, 2-1.
Well, Moustakas came up last year, and you don't expect him to be the number 4-hole hitter, but he's done a nice job. Since mid-August of last year, he's hitting .319. When you look at all his at-bats, and he has a little pop in there, and he's an excellent third baseman. Very good third baseman.
And again, this is a fluid lineup for the Kansas City Royals right now because Ned Yost is trying to keep the hot hitters rolling and try to drop some of the guys who've cooled off down to the bottom part of the lineup. Hit pretty well to right. Back is Chu, still going back. On the dead run, looks up, and it's gone. Mike Moustakas with his 8th home run of the year stakes the Royals to a 2-0 first inning lead. A 3-1 pitch, and he blasted out of here to right center field.
Well, that ball had some carry, and it's right there. It's a challenge pitch. Sinker 91 going away, and he lets Moustakas extend the arms. And this guy's strong enough, hits it out. That is home run number 8. And the Indians will trail in the first.
6th home run allowed by Masterson this year as Jeff Francoeur looks at strike 1.
It's the 3rd home run from a left-hander that Masterson has given up. Lefties are hitting over 300 against him this year now with 3 homers.
Another slider. 1-2 the count. Seen a lot of sliders here at the outset. And you know why? Maybe just because of the aggressiveness of Alex Gordon. Justin figuring, well, if they're going to be aggressive, looking for the fastball early in the count, try to keep them honest. Broke his bat.
Off his
foot, though.
Broke
so
his foot and his bat. In one swing. That hurts. Well, Matt, we witnessed, this is a Kansas City team that they don't take. They're last in the league in walks. They have 123 as a team. When you go up there and prove you're going to throw a fastball to get ahead of them, they are going to be ready. They will swing. They did it the first couple times we played them this year, and they will continue to do that. That's just the way they are. They're aggressive on the bases. They're aggressive when they get in the batter's box. They don't like to walk. That's why you have to make some quality pitches early. You can't just throw it down the middle and say, here's strike one.
Popped him up, back out of play. Swung on and missed. He strikes him out to end the inning. But Mike Moustakas with a 2-out, 2-run homer as the Royals on top 2-0. Proud to be the official auto insurance provider of the Cleveland Indians. Shin-Soo Choo, Jason Kipnis, and Asdrubal Cabrera back in the lineup tonight. He'll DH and bat third. Then it's Jose Lopez, Michael Brantley, and Aaron Cunningham, followed by Lonnie Chisenhall, who homered in his first at-bat of the season yesterday, Luke Carlin, and Juan Diaz.
Well, the 22-year-old left-hander Will Smith is only making his second big league start. And he was roughed up against the Yankees in his very first start. He gave up 3 runs in the first, a solo homer to Curtis Granderson, and A-Rod hit a 2-run shot. So he was roughed up early and just never could recuperate.
Shin-Soo Choo takes a strike. Will Smith will feature a fastball in the low 90s. He'll sink it. He's got a slider and a curveball. He's also got a changeup. But, you know, he's a guy that I think is very intriguing for Kansas City because he is left-handed.
Well, Danny Duffy on the disabled list. That's one left-hander they really like who throws pretty hard for them, but he's out. And 22 years old.
Yeah.
You know, you have to like that.
Fouled back. Will Smith is another of the many players scouted and signed by Tom Kochman, who, of course, is the father of Indians first baseman Casey Kochman. Will Smith was a 7th-round pick of the Angels back in 2007. He walked Shin-Soo Choo to start the game.
The Royals defense brought to you by Home Depot looks like this. Gordon, Dyson, Francoeur in the outfield. Moustakas, Escobar, Giovatella, and Hosmer on the infield. Quintero behind the plate. More savings, more doing. That's the power of Home Depot.
Jason Kipnis 3 for 4 yesterday with 2 runs batted in and 2 runs scored. He has pumped his batting average on the year up to .285. Chu takes off on the first movement, and the ball popped loose. I think they were going to call him out, but he might have caught a break when the shortstop Escobar couldn't hold on to the throw.
Well, it's whereas the base runner's coming in, it might have got Chu. And he never really had it. A lot of times when he's waiting for the ball, it looked like it beat him, but see if it hits him. See, it hit Chu's wrist. A lot of times that runner interferes with the ball going down there on the shortstop or the second baseman, and, you know, it's difficult to hold on to it because those guys can – and this guy's got a chance of sliding into you and hitting you, so you got to be careful there. But Chu beat the throw, stolen base. He had a good jump.
Good spot now for Kipnis, 2-0. And Smith's just having trouble finding home plate. He's thrown 1 strike, well, 2 strikes so far.
And that's a good thing if you're the Indians. Get to see as many pitches as you can that first time through the lineup to see what he has to offer and what he throws in certain situations.
And he walked him on 4 straight. So the Indians have back-to-back base runners on the walk, and all of a sudden it's a rocky start for Will Smith, and the game has just begun. And that's going to send out the Royals pitching coach Dave Eiland to talk with Will Smith. Here's a guy who, as I mentioned, he was scouted and signed by Tom Kochman. And one of the things that he was noted for with the Angels is finding those guys that, I mean, here's a guy who was at Gulf Coast Community College. And they're sort of the diamond in the rough.
Yeah.
They spent a 7th-round pick on him. And then the Angels, he was going pretty good through his first 2 pro seasons. He was 18-7 with a 3.42 ERA. Then he got traded as part of the package for Alberto Callaspo. He was traded with Sean O'Sullivan to the Royals for Callaspo, who went to the Angels, and he really struggled with that trade and didn't pitch very well. But he bounced back last year, went 13-9 with a 3.85 ERA, and put himself back on track.
And, you know, they may be rushing him a little bit this year because they have 3 left-handers on the disabled list. Jonathan Sanchez, who's a starter. Danny Duffy, who's a starter. And they also have Everett Tiefert. And remember, he came in and pitched in long relief for him earlier in the year, and then he could have started too. So there's 3 starters. So this guy has made the fast track.
Cabrera back from the DL, laces a base hit to left field, and they're loaded up with nobody out. Welcome back is Drupal Cabrera.
Yeah, he smoked that one, didn't he? Well, and after that pitching coach comes out, you know he wants to get ahead of you as a hitter. So you sit there and you look for the fastball as Drupal gets it, and what's he do? He hammers it. He never got it in, and as Drupal put a good swing on it, and so the Indians with bases loaded, nobody out, and a great chance to get on the board here.
For fans who are wondering why Cabrera is back in the lineup but DHing and not playing shortstop, Manny Acta said, you know, he convinced me he's ready to go. I wanted him to be sure. He said there's no reason to be a hero in May. Make sure you're 100%. He convinced him that he was, but he said, I just, to play it safe, I'll DH him today, back at shortstop tomorrow. Lopez breaks his bat but pulls it through the left side, of base hit. Chu scores. Stopping at third base is Kipnis. And the Indians are on the board. They're down now 2-1. Bases still loaded. Still nobody out as Lopez gets his 15th RBI on the year.
Well, there you go. Keep the train going. Lopez, base hit with the bases loaded. And Smitty is going to hold him up over there because of the respect in the arm of Gordon in left field. Look at that, holding the handle in his hand. It's going to be our McDonald's. I'm loving it. Base hit, so the first 4 reach here for the Indians. It's a 2-1 game. You know, and getting back to what you were talking about when you say Cabrera, when a player comes to you as a manager and says, I'm ready to go, a lot of times managers will say, okay, good, thanks, and give him that extra day or 2 days.
Right.
So he talked Manny into at least DHing him, even though I think Manny's smart not playing him, but he put him in the lineup. But you go ask Mike Hargrove, and Mike's told me this a number of times, hey, when a player tells you he's ready, you give him another day or 2. and then you put them in, because the player in you just wants to get out there. You hate watching. You want to play.
Vin Mazzaro, just called up today and added to the roster, is up and warming in the bullpen. Up high to Michael Brantley. They jettisoned yesterday's starter and called up Mazzaro today. Nate Adcock went back to AAA Omaha. Mazzaro, who's been a starter, is up in the bullpen now. 1-0 pitch. Brantley chops it on the right side. Hosmer had trouble getting it out of his glove. They get the runner at second. Lopez forced out. Kipnis scores, game tied at 2. There's Dribble Cabrera to third, and Michael Brantley gets his 21st RBI on the year.
Well, the 2 walks come back and hurt him. They score. We have a new ball game.
Just like that. And now Aaron Cunningham had one at bat yesterday when he came on as a defensive replacement and got a base hit. Pop back out of play. Cunningham starting in left field. Cunningham with first and third and 1 out awaits the 0-1. A toss to first instead as Brantley is back safely. He has 8 steals on the year.
Well, they're paying attention now because Chu opened their eyes after he got on. He took off very first pitch and was successful. And the Indians have been much better this year stealing bases.
Up high to Cunningham.
They have 38 on the season. And now that's scored, 18 runs have scored after the stolen base. So they've done a pretty good job. 22 steals here at home, 16 away.
One.
Ooh, I
Popped
thought he was
him up
going
on the infield.
I'm not so sure. And, when you break or fake a run like that, you could distract the hitter. I'm not saying he did, but Brantley took a couple of false steps over there. And sometimes as a hitter, especially a guy that's not playing, may felt like he missed a sign and he swings anyway.
Our stat of the game brought to you by your Northern Ohio GMC dealers. The Indians taking advantage of home field now. 7 in their last 9 in the win column, averaging almost 5 runs a game. Lonnie Chisenhall with first and third and 2 down. Lonnie homered and his first swing yesterday into the bullpen in right field. He also singled in the game. Brantley takes off. Pitch a called strike. Not even close.
There you go. Number 2 tonight.
His 9th stolen base of the year. And now runners at second and third with 2 down.
He's been on a tear. He's stolen his last 6 that he's attempted. He was down. It was 2. He had stolen 2 and has been thrown out 4 times. He now has 9.
Lonnie almost chased after it, and he did, says home plate umpire Hunter Wendelstadt. So now down on the count 0-2.
Oh, yeah.
Two-strike pitch. Struck him out. That'll end the inning, but the Indians get a pair to tie it 2-2 after 1. brought to you by McDonald's Cherry Berry Chiller. Cherry and raspberry flavors blended with ice and 100% fruit juice. By AT&T, the nation's largest 4G network. AT&T, rethink possible. And by your Northern Ohio Toyota dealers. Second inning here at Progressive Field, 2-2 our score. Eric Hosmer, Alcides Escobar, and Gerard Dyson due up for Kansas City. Masterson misses down low. It's 2-0. Up high, 3-0. Hosmer 1 for 4 yesterday. He clobbered a 2-run homer early in the game. And Masterson with a 94-mile-an-hour fastball in there, and the count is 3-1.
Justin's team came back and bounced right back and responded to that 2-run first. He's had problems this year in the first for whatever reason. An ERA of 9.82 this year, and that's like you're down before you know it. Team's hitting 388 off him in the first inning.
Hit on the ground in the hole and a base hit. Hosmer almost looked like he threw his bat at it and just punched it through the hole on the left side of the infield.
Well, not much you can do there. That pitch is down and it's away. Look, that's good hitting. I'm sorry to say. That pitch, if he even tries to pull it, it may be right back to Masterson himself. But he just reaches out and slaps it the other way. Good job by him.
Alcides Escobar 1 for 4 yesterday. Picked up an RBI in the game. $13 doubles for Escobar to go along with his 13 runs batted in. He's down on the count 0-2. Up high, a ball and 2 strikes.
This guy has had a pretty good year for them. He's bounced around. He's normally hitting 9th in their lineup for Ned Yost, but he's over 300. He's in the top 10. 13 doubles, a triple, 7 stolen bases. And he's not a power guy.
So the Royals have their first 2 on here in the second inning. Masterson had him down on the count. But he came inside, hit him on the arm. Might have got him on the elbow.
Yeah, that ball got a hip. The hipster.
Gerard Dyson 1 for 3 yesterday. He tripled, scored a couple of runs.
I wouldn't be surprised to see him maybe try and lay one down and leg it out.
He bunts it back to Masterson. He'll take the sure out at first. 1 away. Hosmer to third, Escobar to second base.
Get the sack. But that's a guy there that, you can try and make that perfect bunt, and if they get you, you move the runners up, so it benefits them. He'll get credited with a sacrifice.
Normally sacrificing for the number 9 hitter isn't always the best idea, but Quintero has 11 doubles already this year. He's driven in 16 runs.
He has that right center field stroke. I remember watching him hit in Kansas City where, he tries to take everything that way, and that'd be a pretty good approach off Masterson from a right-handed hitter.
Infield back, normal depth, a swing and a miss. Quintero might be a little over anxious to get that run in from third.
I think he had his mind made up. He was swinging no matter what as soon as he let that ball go, thinking he was going to get a fastball.
Hit to first. Lopez coming home with the throw. Carlin couldn't get the tag on him. Hosmer slid around the tag, and the Royals take a 3-2 lead.
You know, that was a good slide right there. I know that ball wasn't hit all that hard. Lopez decides to come home with it. It's off the end of the bat. The play's in front of him. And there's the throw. And Carlin was a little slow getting back there. He was out in front of the plate. He had to come back. If he's at the plate, it's different. You see where he's trying to go get the ball and then block off the plate. And that left Hosmer room to slide by him. Good hustle, good slide. They take a 3-2 lead.
Quintero gets his 17th RBI. And a strike called on the outside corner to Alex Gordon. First and third. Still only one out. And the count 1-1. Broke his bat. Loop to right center, and it will fall for a base hit. Gordon's 2 for 2. Scoring is Escobar. Quintero goes to third. And it's now 4-2 Kansas City.
Well, Kansas City comes right back. Bottom part of the lineup. And put another 2 on the board. And they're at first and third. They're at the corners again. Broken bat. But it falls in. Quintero gets to third. Gordon with his 19th RBI. He's 2 for 2. And this is not, so far, a good night for Masterson.
Well, Johnny Giavotella fouls it back. This will be his 40th pitch so far for Justin. Now the 0-1. That slider missed. Two-run home run by Mike Moustakas in the first inning. And now here in the second, the Royals with 2 more after the Tribe had tied it in the bottom of the first. Line to left. 5-2 Kansas City. Third hit in the inning, and that was squared up by Johnny Giavotella, his 4th RBI on the year.
An elevated fastball, it looked like. And Giavotella just makes it easy for him right there. Look at that. You talk about belt high. And that thing came back into the sweet spot of the bat. Drilled it to left field. They already have 5 hits now in the first 2 innings and also 5 runs.
Two on, 1 out. Butler swings and misses. He flied to center field his first time up. 20 pitch innings so far for Masterson. One and one. Fastball got up and in on him. The Royals bullpen has logged the most innings in the American League. Minnesota has logged the second most, followed by Boston and then the Indians. I beg your pardon, Baltimore's in there too at 169. Off the glove of Carlin. Second time that's happened today. First one was ruled a wild pitch. We'll see how they score this one.
I'm telling you, this is not an easy job. This is Luke Carlin coming up, and you're catching Masterson at this level. It's not easy.
That's a pass ball.
Well, he slides inside, but he's late going outside. And he misses. I mean, for Masterson, he's missing his target by 2 feet. But I'll tell you, it's not easy to try and chase it down or at least stop it.
I don't know about you, but they looked exactly the same. One was a wild pitch. That was a pass ball.
I don't know if the first one, did it hit dirt?
No.
The first one? Okay, then they both should have been pass balls.
2-2 the count. Lou Marson not catching today. Maniac has said before the game, Marson with the stitches in his mouth, the concern is that if he takes a foul ball or any kind of jarring hit to the mask, it could rip those stitches out. So they want to give him another day. Butler strikes out, 2 down in the inning. Injury report brought to you by Elk & Elk. Serious lawyers for serious injuries. Call 1-800-ELK, Ohio. Travis Hafner, they're going to run him tomorrow to see how the knee responds to that. It took batting practice today. That went fine. So if he can withstand the pain of running on the knee, then he could be back in the lineup soon. With Lou Marson, they're hoping he could be back tomorrow. They were trying to get him fitted maybe with a mouthpiece that could help in the event that he were to take a foul ball in the mask. Jack Hanahan, sideline on the DL with the calf strain. The 0-1. Missed inside. Mike Moustakas hit a 2-run homer in the first. 8th man to bat in the inning for Kansas City. He almost chased, and he did, says third base umpire Bob Davidson. 1-2 the count on Moustakas. That's drilled deep right and gone. Foul ball. Oh, baby.
Boy, I was with you. I thought it was fair because he kept running.
Moustakas can't believe it.
Nobody's arguing.
Oh, yes, they
well,
are.
Now he's going to come out and want to take a look at it at least. He'll want to go under review. I thought it was a fair ball from where I was sitting.
I did too.
Moustakas kept running. Usually you could tell by the batter or the runner where that ball is, because they're going right down the line. They see it better than anyone. And he hit first and kept going. So why do you go to the second base umpire?
He's the crew chief.
Yeah, so you want to say, let me get a look at it? I mean, the guy's on first base. It's right down the line. He's the one that blew the call yesterday on the Royals.
He's going to ask them if they will convene and take another look at it. Let's see what Jerry Lane decides. They're going to go look at it.
Well, I figured that's all. That's at least what Ned Yost wants.
Let's see what we have for you. If we have a different angle or a better look. Okay, where's the ball?
I don't know. That's what I'm trying to figure
out.
Oh, there it is.
You see the ball in front of it's in front of it. Yep, good call.
It is in front of it. From that right there, it's in front of the foul pole. Good shot, guys.
Just barely, huh?
Usually if it disappears, you know it's a fair ball, but this one
stays in front of the foul pole.
It always does, and it didn't hit the foul pole, so he's got to be right on it.
About as close as you can come.
Yeah.
So
boy, that was close.
But we had a pretty good definitive replay, and it will not be a home run.
I'll tell you what, that right there could be a big, big swing in the ballgame. That would have made it 8-2.
Yeah, that would have been a killer.
That would have been like a knockout punch.
Meanwhile, Justin Masterson just struggling to find it here in the second inning. He wobbled through the first, gave up a 2-run homer to Mike Moustakas, and Moustakas almost got him for a 3-run shot here in the second.
Watch this hanging breaking ball right there. And I mean, it was a spinner that said mash me, and he did. And he pulled it right down the line, and as we showed before, that ball, you'll see the baseball. It never leaves your vision. That means that it's right of the foul pole or foul.
Just in front of it, yep.
Yeah, if that ball disappeared at any point in time, that would have been behind the pole. It would have been a fair ball, but not this time. You never fool our camera guys. I'll tell you what, they're the best. So he's just sitting up here waiting to hit again. He knows. He knows it was foul. But they got to make sure. They got to take a, what are they going to do tomorrow with nobody televising in this ballpark? They got to come out here and have their own cameras, don't they, for a play just like this happening?
MLB always has cameras operating each and every game just in case there's no TV.
They're coming out. They're going to relay it to Ned Yost. No, it was in front of the foul pole. And they had their look. Don't think that any of their players didn't go down and take a look at it and let the skipper know. You know they did. So they did their job. It's a foul ball. And thank goodness for Justin Masterson and the Indians.
He gets a reprieve here. 2 on, 2 out. Moustakas down on the count, a ball and 2 strikes. 50 pitches so far for Justin on the night. And this is second inning of work, the 1-2. Moustakas again fouls it off. Count remains a ball and 2 strikes. He's the 8th man to bat in the inning, which is why Justin's had to make so many pitches to try and get that 3rd out now. Carlin kept that one from getting away. And it's 2-2.
Boy, he's got his work cut out for him tonight. Got to go to the backhand side. At least he knocked it down. Especially Masterson's not hitting his spots tonight. He's all over, so you got to be loose.
Yeah.
You got to be ready to dive any which way. Not an easy thing to do.
Line drive, base hit, right field. That's going to score Gordon. Here comes Giavotella. He will score. And the throwback to first, not in time.
Well, I'll tell you what, he is missing. He's making some bad pitches tonight. I mean, these are pitches that are, that's why they're getting hit.
It's now 7-2 Royals as they have batted around here in the second inning.
Moustakas now with 4 ribbies. And it's only the second inning, folks. That's a fastball. It comes right there. He hit the home run that was out over the plate, gave him a little more swinging room, and he was able to elevate it. This pitch comes in. It's a little more on the inside part of the plate he's able to turn on. And they have 4 hits in the inning. They have scored 5 runs, and it is a 7-2 ball game. So, I don't know what you tell them here. You better start making good pitches or you will not be here much longer.
He's already made 54 pitches in the game. Looking for that 3rd out here in the inning. No activity in the Indians' bullpen yet. Remember, Kansas City had their bullpen up and going in the first inning when the first 4 all reached against Will Smith. Jeff Francoeur, the 9th man to bat in the inning. He struck out to end the first. And a swing and a miss. Breaking ball fouled back. And the count 0-2. The 0-2 pitch, swing and a miss. He strikes him out for the second time tonight. But the Royals do the damage. They bat around and they score 5, lead it 7-2. Cut out for him tonight, down 7-2, bottom of the second inning. Luke Carlin, Juan Diaz, Shin-Soo Choo due up. Will Smith struggled in the first inning, walking the first 2, giving up hits to the next 2, but then he was able to retire 3 straight to get out of trouble. So the Indians aren't out of this by a long shot if the way Smith started the game is any indicator.
Well, we'll see what he does
they're
this
going to need
inning.
Justin Masterson to find some kind of a groove.
Well, this is going to be a big inning for him to see, this first hitter, see if they can get it rolling and get somebody on again. And come back, and you don't have to get 5, just get a couple more.
Carlin fouls it out of play.
Because this could turn into a battle of the bullpens here by about the 5th inning if these guys are pitching like this.
Luke Carlin 3 for 6 so far since getting the call up. A little bit low, 1-2. Carlin's done a nice job using the middle of the diamond. Doubled to left center in Chicago. A couple of hits up the middle yesterday.
Yeah, from the left side. This is his first at bat from the right side.
Carlin steps back in. A little bit low, full count. So he let him back into the at-bat. Had him down 0-2. Right back up the middle. The second baseman, Giavotella, kicked off the heel of his glove. And it will be, well, we'll have to wait and see how they rule it.
That's got to be an error.
I would think so, but.
Got to be.
And I'm a little gun shy.
That's got to be an error.
It is
no
ruled
way.
an
That's
error.
the big leagues. If they give that a hit, I'm going to come out of retirement and I can still get 1,000 more.
Oh, my.
Yeah, that's a play. He's just trying to catch it on the run and never really caught it.
Well, the Indians get a break, get their leadoff man aboard here. Trying to come right back. Juan Diaz takes a strike. Diaz 1 for 4 yesterday with a run scored. 3 out of 11.
Well, that's what
Since
the
getting the
Indians
call-up.
needed, that first man aboard to keep pressure on this young man.
Squibb to first. Hosmer steps on the bag, goes to second, and it's a double play.
Yeah, an easy double play because he was right at first base. Even though his footwork couldn't step on it and throw, he had to get it together, but he does. They get the double play, 3-6. You watch him, you see, he's got to catch the ball first. Stepped on it with the left, got his feet together to make the throw.
Here's Shin-Soo Choo, walked and scored his first time up. And it's quickly 0-2. Choo chased one. He better take off.
If he would have at the right time.
He pulled him off the bag.
Yes,
He's going to be
did.
safe.
This could be one of those games. Choo didn't even see it. He didn't know where it was, and he didn't realize the run. Watch how long it takes him to run to first base. It takes him a good second and a half, almost 2 seconds, and the throw comes off, and Hosmer wisely decides to come off the bag. He wasn't going to get him. He realized Choo was going to beat it out to where the throw was, so it extends the inning. A wild pitch and a strikeout. So they'll get 4 outs in the inning.
Now Jason Kipnis, who walked on 4 pitches his first time up, chases one, swing and a miss. Now they're saying it's a strikeout and an error on the catcher. What about the part where the ball went back to the screen?
Well, yeah, I mean, that could be
forget
a wild
about that
pitch
part?
unless they're saying it made an error on that throw to first base. Pulling Hosmer off first. It's the only thing it could be because the ball bounced in the dirt.
Oh, my gosh, yeah. It's not an ordinary play if he's got to go to the backstop to get it, is it? 1-1 pitch. Jason Kipnis awaiting the 2-1. Out of play.
Send along some birthday wishes. Jonna Goldfarb of Toledo is turning 30, and Tatiana Faulkner of Painesville 11. Happy birthday to you both.
Jason fouls it back. And as Drupal Cabrera would be next. Kipnis, 4 straight multi-hit games. 5 out of his last 6. There's a fly ball to center. Back is Dyson. And the inning is over. 2 complete. It's the Royals 7 and the Indians 2. Stay tuned later in the game for Miller Time, brought to you by Miller Lite. We move to the 3rd inning here at Progressive Field, and the Royals lead it 7-2. Got the Luke Carlin haircut. Jerry Lane's going out to the mound, or excuse me, Hunter Wendelstedt is going out to the mound. I think he.
Well, they're taking time because the second base umpire, Jerry Lane, had to go somewhere. Or something happened. Yeah, that's Lane coming back.
So he's just killing time until Jerry Lane can get in position.
It was the roadside stop. Rest area.
Eric Hosmer, base hit his first time up.
Well, Justin could certainly use a 1-2-3 quick inning, and I mean on a short number of pitches, because this will be pitch number 60.
Down on the dirt. Two and one to count. Got him to swing and miss. And the count evens at 2-2. Hosmer, we saw him do that yesterday. Dig out a pitch down and in and hit it for a home run. Normally he's a guy who seems to like it up. Even above the belt at times. Bounces this one to first. One away. Well, let's check in with Katie Witham.
Hey, Matt. Well, we've got a double dose of Rally Alley coming at you this Friday and Saturday, presented by RTA. That street party starts 2 hours before the game out there on Eagle Avenue. Not only can you catch live performances and get some food, but they also have happy hour beer specials. Log on to Indians.com/Rally Alley. Guys, back to you.
All right, thanks, Katie. Here is Alcides Escobar, hit by a pitch and scored. Another ball to the backstop.
Looks like Carolina's playing fetch today. Man alive, there's been a lot of balls thrown back.
Smoke just foul third base side. Yeah, I don't know if it's one of those cases where, and there are times when Masterson has too much movement. I don't know that it's that or if he's just having a difficult time commanding it.
That's what I think. It's all over the place. I mean, he can sit inside, it's thrown outside. You sit outside, it's thrown inside. It's one of those days. You know, and it's a kind of thing where you don't know if he can settle into it, you know, and bring it back together.
The 2-2 swung on and missed. Escobar went fishing. Fourth strikeout for Masterson. 2 down here in the third. Time now for our trivia question tonight, brought to you by AT&T. Which player has the most seasons in an Indians uniform without ever playing in the World Series?
Wow, good question.
Gerard Dyson, the sacrifice bunt, his first time up. And a foul tip evens the count. Justin trying to mow him down 1-2-3 here in the third. He got him. Justin strikes out a pair and sets KC down 1-2-3. Down 5, they'll send the heart of the order up here. As Dribble Cabrera, Jose Lopez, and Michael Brantley. Left-hander Will Smith has made 40 pitches through the first 2 innings. Most of those came in the first when he had to face 7 batters. But the Indians had a chance to really rough him up in that first inning. He escaped, only allowing the 2 runs. Cabrera lined a single to left field his first time up. Back in action for the first time since Friday night in Chicago when he strained a hamstring. Maniac to feeling that if everything goes well tonight and he doesn't have any issues at all, he'll be back in there at shortstop tomorrow for the 12 o'clock game.
Now, the one thing is tough to tell as Cabrera goes down.
Our minor league update brought to you by University Hospitals. Tony Walters, the minor league player of the week. Third round pick a couple of years ago.
You know, when you're talking about Cabrera, let's DH him today, see what happens. Boy, when you get out defensively and have to move and make plays out there in the field, it's not the same as just hitting and maybe trying to jog or run to first.
Lopez to third. Moustakas throws him out, 2 down.
Well saved with a KeyBank Grand Slam 4-pack. A terrific value for any family. You'll get 4 seats in the mezzanine level, right next to the kids' clubhouse. 4 hot dogs, 4 Pepsi products, 4 Indians caps, and 1 parking pass, all for $96. Log on to Indians.com for the details and the tickets.
Michael Brantley picked up an RBI his first time up. Swung on and missed in the count 0-2. Will Smith reaching back. He hit 94. That's where they tell me his fastball tops out. You wonder if that big inning really is giving him a shot of confidence. He's throwing more strikes. I mean, he walked the first 2 hitters of the game.
Boy, you certainly would think that your team comes right back. After they put 2 on the board, you give it up by the walks. And then they come back and score you 5. It certainly had to let them take an easier breath.
Fastball right back up the middle, and Brantley is aboard with 2 down here in the third. Third hit of the night for the Indians off Will Smith.
I'll take it right back up the middle. You see, I think his breaking ball is a little inconsistent when he gets to left-handers, and he was ahead of a couple 0-2. Then you let him back into the count. Brantley ended up hitting a fastball right there, so... You know, young kids, the one thing that's tough for them is consistency with the breaking ball and when you can throw it. You get ahead and you try and throw that nasty swing pitch, but if the guys can lay off of it and it's not in the strike zone, you're in pretty good shape.
The 0-1 pitch to Cunningham is up high. And a line drive single into center field for Cunningham. Brantley will stop at second base. Back-to-back hits with 2 outs here in the third. Keeps the inning alive now for Lonnie Chisenhall. Which brings us to our great clip of the game from yesterday. Lonnie Chisenhall's first swing here in the big leagues this year, resulting in a home run. That sparked a 5-run rally. Great clips. It's going to be great. He fell behind, and Will Smith got him to chase his first time up. He had second and third with 2 down in the first inning. First and second, 2 down here in the third. And he looks at an off-speed pitch for strike 1. Right back to the mound, and Will Smith has an easy play. Indians strand a pair through 3, 7-2 Kansas City. The fourth inning. Royals with a 5-run second to open up the gap. Humberto Quintero will lead off the fourth for the Royals. Then top of the order, Alex Gordon and Johnny Giavotella. Outside corner call to strike. Quintero doesn't like it. He's down on the count 0-2. And he strikes him out. That's 3 straight strikeouts in the game for Masterson, 6 in the ball game.
Well, he started him off with a slider, strike one, and then painted the outside corner with a fastball, and then gets him to chase. Really very quick at bat. 1-2-3 on the 0-2 count. He chases the bad pitch. So Masterson, 6 strikeouts.
Alex Gordon is 2 for 2 tonight. 2 singles, a ribby, and a run scored. This time, Jason Kipnis throws him out, 2 down. On the rare chance that you're keeping score with us at home, want to relay to you that the official score has changed.
Oh, no, he didn't.
The decision from the second inning. He took an error away from the catcher, Humberto Quintero, and charged Will Smith with a wild pitch.
There you
on
go.
The ball that allowed Chu to reach first base. Johnny Giavotella with a line drive base hit. Well, he's got 2 hits tonight. And that snaps a string of 6 in a row set down by Justin Masterson. It's going to bring up Billy Butler, who is 0 for 2 tonight and hitless now in 6 trips to the plate in the series.
This is a guy that was swinging a pretty good bat, you know, coming in, and he always, it seems like, swings it well against the Indians. He had homered in 2 straight games before coming into this series.
You know, I'm not saying he's not a home run hitter, because he can definitely hit home runs, but you wonder if the number of home runs he hit in a short period of time maybe just got him a little bit out of whack, because sometimes you see good hitters, they hit a bunch of home runs and somewhere along the line, they get home run conscious or home run happy.
when they start talking about it in their notes that, hey, he's on pace to break this record, you can't help but think about it. I'm not saying he does right there, but when people are talking about it and wonder why, he's a good enough hitter. His job is to hit 300, drive in runs, and whatever home runs he hits, it's a bonus. And he's right there. I mean, he's at 293. He's got 34 RBIs. He's going to do that. He's always done that. But if you start, the minute you start to try to hit home runs, Matt, it doesn't happen. Your swing gets longer. You get your hits, and home runs will come. They're the bonus of good quality at bats.
2-2 to Butler. Well, you know he was thinking about it because he was being asked about it. Remember the quote I relayed to you where he talked about his swing path has been a little more uppercut, and he's trying to,
hit down on the baseball,
hit the bottom of the baseball a little bit more. Swung on and missed. He strikes him out again. Second time Butler's down on Case. 7th strikeout for Masterson. Middle of the 4th. Royals by 5. The 4th inning. Luke Carlin will lead off, and he takes a strike. Carlin reached on an error by the second baseman Giavotella his first time up. One ball, one strike. And a good pitch in for a strike to get ahead 1-2. Hit to third. Backhanded by Moustakas.
Uh-oh.
High throw. Hosmer. And he is safe at first. Hosmer did a terrific job to go up and catch the ball.
Right.
Because I thought it was going into the seats, to be honest with you.
I did,
and then he came down and almost tagged Carlin out. But give Luke credit for having the presence of mind to make just a little inside move to catch the corner of the bag and beat the tag.
I'm surprised he caught it, let alone come down and even try to make a play closer. Look at how high he's up there, man. That's just good effort. And I don't know what it is about Carlin, but he reached with the error on Giavotella back in the second, and now he reaches here. Look at him get up. And he's right. The umpire was right there. He never touched him.
He looks like he could dunk a basketball standing flat-footed.
I think that's a pretty good guess.
Juan Diaz pops it up foul, and that's over the top of the dugout.
I was waiting for his arm to stretch out and go catch it like he's a cartoon character. He got up there. We're gonna get a look at this guy for a long time over there in Kansas City. These two guys on the corners. Moustakas, a good third baseman. He just launched that one. So the Royals with 2 errors on the night.
Diaz cuts and misses down on the count 1-2.
Go ahead. Let's check it out. Let's see how high he goes up. He's up to the top floor, folks.
That is, what'd you say? He's at least 4 feet off the ground there, don't you think?
Well, with his legs bent it was, but he had some.
Double play ball. 5-4-3.
Well, and they do the same thing as they did back in the second inning. After that man reaches, they turn the double play.
Well, let's go back to the Hyundai Studios right now for an in-game update with Al Pawlowski.
Hey, Matt, Rick, there has been a Hideki Matsui sighting at the Trop, and guess what? First major league pitch he sees this year. He deposits into the right field seats. 2-run homer. Tampa takes the lead. It's now 2-1 Rays over the White Sox. 5th inning in Florida. Back to you, Matt.
All right, thanks, Al. Shin-Soo Choo, who has walked and scored tonight, takes a strike. That's 13 of 19 first pitch strikes for Will Smith. And then remember, he walked the first 2 to start the game. Chu with a line drive to left. Gordon makes the catch. 4 complete. It's still Kansas City 7 and Cleveland 2. With 17 locations in Northeast Ohio. And by Levin's, home of the Sealy Posturepedic mattress made right here in Northeast Ohio. A strike call to Mike Moustakas. He's had a great night already. A 2-run homer in the first, a 2-run single in the second.
Now they had to go in and they reviewed his ball that he hit because it could have been a 3-run homer. Ended up being a foul ball right down the line before he hit the 2-run single.
roped foul into the seats. Look out below.
Talking about Moustakas. There's the ball. I mean, hit hard. Looked like a 3-run homer. Ned Yost came out. They wanted to challenge it, and it was a foul ball, but he still came back and got a base hit after he fouled off a couple more pitches. So he has driven in 4 today with a home run and a single in his first 2 at-bats.
Grounded to first. Jose Lopez will go himself. And they retire Moustakas for the first time tonight, 1 away. Hey, you can win a $100 gas card courtesy of your Northeast Ohio Shell retailer and True North convenience stores. Visit STOHD.com to enter for your chance to win. One new winner will be picked each week now until September 26th. Jeff Francoeur has struck out twice tonight. Looks at a ball down low.
I would think we should have told some of the fans before this series started if they were to yell at Francoeur out there, and he might go out and buy him pizzas or beers and send it up to the seats like he does in Oakland when he's out there.
Pretty generous guy. Juan Diaz throws out Francoeur. 2 down. He made a lot of friends out in Oakland.
Yeah,
they were all
did.
over him, and then he sent him up some pizzas.
Yeah, one time he sent up, that's exactly right. He had pizzas delivered, and then he had beers delivered out there, sent up an autographed bat. That was one way to win the fans over. That's pretty good thinking when you think about it. Because those Oakland fans could be as harsh as anybody on you.
And a foul tip from Hosmer, who is 1 for 2 on the night. Out of play.
Send along a birthday wish to Detective Sergeant Doug Hartman for the Bowling Green Police Department. Wishing you a happy birthday today, Sarge.
Fouled up the third base side. Up high. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Swung on and missed. He strikes out Hosmer. Masterson has whiffed 8 on the night. And the Royals go 1-2-3. Alley this Friday
There's
starting
the
at
big
5.
guy.
Join the party with live performances, discounts on food, happy hour beer specials. Indians.com/Rally Alley for your tickets. Buy early and save. Bruce entertaining a
Love
whole
you,
slew of
Bruce.
folks up there tonight.
There we go. Love you,
Sweet.
Bruce. Big Bruce taking in the ball game, entertaining some of the folks.
Jason Kipnis has walked and scored and flied to center. There's a slicing foul ball out of play. Red Sox out in front of the Tigers 4-0 in the 5th at Fenway. Tampa Bay leads Chicago 2-1 in the 5th down at St. Pete.
That was
2-2 foul out of play.
Verlander that they were facing today in Boston.
The 2-2, tap foul. And he's out looking. Will Smith freezes him with a breaking ball, and that's his 4th strikeout of the night. A recap brought to you by your Northern Ohio Toyota dealers. Mike Moustakas, a 2-run homer in the 1st, got the Royals on the board. Indians came right back and tied it. And then the Royals in the 2nd inning scored 5 times. Giovitello with an RBI single. Moustakas drove in a pair. And it's 7-2 Kansas City. As Drupal Cabrera singled his first time up, struck out in the 3rd. Chased one down and in there. It's 0-2. This kid's really bounced back. He's thrown 50 of his 77 pitches now for strikes. When the game started, you weren't sure if he'd find home plate. Moustakas stayed with a tricky hop. And he throws out Cabrera, 2 down. Will Smith walked the first 2 to start the game. Both came around to score. He gave up hits to the next 2 batters, and the Royals bullpen was up and throwing. But then Michael Brantley grounded into a fielder's choice. Aaron Cunningham popped up on the infield, and Lonnie Chisenhall struck out to end the inning. And he's been cruising pretty much ever since. He did give up back-to-back hits with 2 outs in the 3rd inning. But that's been it. A couple of errors defensively he's been able to make up for by getting a double play ball. And he's given the Royals what they were really begging for. Ned Yost was just begging for a starter to go out and go at least 5 innings tonight. And it looks like Will Smith will be able to give him much more than that.
Well, he's settled in, and you're absolutely right. That's 5-run second settled him down a little bit. Because this is only his 2nd start. His first one coming in Yankee Stadium, and the Yankees pounded him. He only went 3 1/3 innings. He'd given up 3 home runs, so a little gun shy, and then he walked the first couple of guys. They came around to score in this ball game. But he slowed it down a little bit.
Out of play. Slow bouncer to 3rd. Moustakas charging, throws on the run, And the Indians go 1-2-3. After 5, it's the Royals 7 and the Indians 2.
I'm Kitty with them hanging out in the Subway Extreme fan zone right now with Zach and Sean. Zach is today's $25 Indians Fun Money winner. You can win too. All you have to do is buy tickets to sit up here in the Subway Extreme fan zone. How are the seats up here, Zach?
I love them out here.
It's pretty good, right? Yeah, you can see anything. Subway, where winners eat. Guys, we'll send it back to you.
All right, thanks, Katie. Alcides Escobar struck out his last time up. And he looks at a first pitch strike from Justin Masterson. Down the right field line, slicing foul.
He had one just foul his last at bat down the third baseline. So he's covering every line. Still can't find a fair ball.
Escobar stays alive on a foul tip that Carlin couldn't hang on to. Able to hold up. Broke his bat, rolls it to third. Chisenhall unloads in a hurry to get him. One down here in the sixth. Get the answer to our AT&T trivia question tonight. Which player has the most seasons in an Indians uniform without ever playing in the World Series?
Big Mel. What a gentleman, nice guy he was. From 1928 to 1947. They won it in 48. He ended up becoming a pitching coach here for a number of years as well.
Herb Score always thought so highly of Mel Harder as a pitching coach.
Well, I remember when this ballpark was built, he was here for the, when they brought in the home plate or the pitcher's mound, Charlie Nagy, where they were passing it over. Remember Big Mel?
Oh, yeah.
What a nice man. Lived out in the Chardon area.
I went to his home one time and spent some time at his house with him and talking about the old days and going through the scrapbooks. You're right, just an absolute gentleman. Line to center. Brentley on the move. Can't get to it. He'll play it on a hop. And Gerard Dyson with his first hit today.
Yeah, I'll expect him to run if he gets a jump. He will be off and running, especially, you would think, of the 7-2 lead.
Alberto Quintero, an RBI and a fielder's choice, and he came around to score in the second inning. Went down swinging in the fourth. Runner goes, called a strike, no throw from Carlin. Steal for Dyson, his 8th on the year.
Yeah, it was just a matter of time. He waited one pitch. You know, there it is. Second pitch, takes off, and didn't look like Carlin had a chance in the transfer. But this kid is a base stealer, period. He's going to steal him no matter who's pitching.
Breaking ball fouled away. Quintero steps away. Masterson coming up on his 108th pitch of the night. Activity in the Indians bullpen. And now what is Quintero doing? Jeremy Cardo is loosening. Here's the 1-2. Line on the right field line, just foul.
That's a break there, too. You watch, that thing's going down there, you're saying, oh, no, get foul. Barely. About 6 inches.
Runner goes for third. Grounded to third.
Oh,
in
boy,
the hole
oh,
and into left field. Dyson scores easily. He had Chisenhall going to the bag to take the throw, and it opened up a perfect hole.
How about that? He sure did. I mean, you couldn't plan it any better. He felt he had a jump, and he took off. He was still, look at it, he's smiling over there. Thank you. He's going to have to take him out for dinner because Dyson, watch this all take place. There you go. You see Chisenhall just give up ground, and it's right where he was. And this ball goes sitting. Oh, my goodness. I mean, he was standing right in that spot. So it's a base hit, RBI. It's an 8-2 ball game. Yeah, you owe Dyson right there, young man. How many times do you see that happen?
Well, you see it more in the middle of the infield.
Well, just stealing first
baseman.
base, not going to third base. You're right.
Gordon hits a double play ball to Kipnis, to Diaz, back to Lopez to end the inning. But one hitter too late. The Royals extend their lead 8-2, middle of the 6th. 8-2 Kansas City as we go now to the bottom of the 6th inning. Michael Brantley, Aaron Cunningham, Lonnie Chisenhall coming up for the Tribe. Will Smith will start the 6th with 85 pitches under his belt on the night. Since those first 2 batters that he walked to start the game, he's thrown 71% of his pitches for strikes.
Well, first pitch strikes, but he's been very good. There's a get-me-over breaking ball. Well, he had Michael down on the count last time. Tried to get him to fish at a couple breaking balls. Ended up getting a base hit off the fastball up the middle.
And the 1-2.
There you go. You got him to swing at the breaking ball that time.
Giovitella throws out Brantley. 6 in a row retired now by Will Smith.
Check out the Indian season ticket guarantee package. It features maximum savings over single game prices on the best seats. Call 216-420-HITS or visit Indians.com/season tickets for your package today.
Down low to Cunningham. Aaron 1 for 2 tonight with a single. Out of play to the right. Chopper by the mound. Escobar on the move. Slings it over to get him 2 down.
Smart play. Did you see where he brought his glove back? He was thinking of going after that ball. It was hit by him.
Yep.
And then he pulled his glove back to let his fielders take it. I guess it was hit slow enough because most pitchers, they react. You see, he wanted to go after it, says, nope, let me get it back. And then he lets his shortstop come in and make the play. Pretty good move. Most pitchers get after that and they try and chase it. Goes off their glove and it can go for an infield single.
Yeah, that's usually what you do see happen. A guy will come up and they'll deflect it by an infielder.
Because he's trying too hard. He sees it and it's just out of his reach and it goes off his glove.
Well, the numbers bear it out. The Indians have had trouble against left-handed starting pitching. And with a predominantly left-handed hitting lineup, that isn't all that earth-shattering. The Indians 4-9 against lefty starters coming in. Chisenhall strikes out, and the Indians go 1-2-3 again.
weekend. We've got an action-packed weekend plan for you. Both Friday and Saturday night, we've got Rally Alley kicking off both games out there on Eagle Street, presented by RTA, and then fireworks both Friday and Saturday after the show. And then Sunday, you get your chance to take home the second bobblehead of the season, Carlos Baerga. The first 15,000 fans will take home, presented by Medical Mutual. You can get your tickets now, save a little money at Indians.com.
Ooh. All right, thanks, Katie. (8-2) Kansas City on top. Jeremy Accardo coming on to pitch now after Justin Masterson went 6 innings tonight. Accardo on for the 6th time this year. No wins or losses. ERA .284. He has struck out 6, walked 3, and 6 1/3 innings of work.
Yeah, not a good night for Justin Masterson tonight. Didn't walk anybody. Had 8 strikeouts, but the control, man, wasn't there early in the game again. An ERA over 9 in the first inning, and then he gave up 5 in that second inning. And that's all after coming out, pitching here in his last start, going up against Justin Verlander and the Tigers, and pitched a gem.
Givitel, a couple of hits tonight, an RBI and 2 runs scored. Two balls, 2 strikes. You remember earlier this year when we went to Kansas City, it was the Indians who were the master of the big inning against Kansas City.
Right.
And they swept that series at Kauffman Stadium. Giovicella strikes out. 1 down here in the 7th. Let's go back to the Hyundai Studios once again for an in-game update with Al.
Hey, Matt, the Red Sox taking on the Tigers tonight at Fenway. Justin Verlander on the hill for Detroit, and Boston really got to him here in the bottom of the 4th inning. Daniel Nava, with the bases loaded and 2 outs, delivers this double that scores all 3. Boston now beating Verlander and the Tigers 5-1 in the 6th. Back to you, Matt.
All right, thanks, Al. Billy Butler, a couple of strikeouts in his last 2 trips to the plate. Cuts and misses. Butler down on the count 0-2. Bounced it in there, and 1-2 the count for Butler. 0 for 7 in the series. Popped him up. Drifting foul, and it drops just inside the line for a fair ball and a base hit for Billy Butler.
Well, you couldn't have ran out there and placed it any better. You can see him reaching for it at the home plate, and now he's just running down, and that ball just no slice to it. It seems like it came straight down, didn't it?
Yeah.
Well, good hitters find ways to get hits, and he is a good hitter.
He was
and it just drops in fair territory.
0 for his first 7 in the series before that. And a one-out base runner for Mike Moustakas, 2 for 3. He had a 2-run homer in the first and a 2-out 2-run single in the second. Back over the screen, out of play. Those 2 early at-bats by Moustakas are the ones that really did the bulk of the damage to Masterson, because it came with 2 outs in the first inning when he hit the 2-run homer. And then in the second, it looked like he had hit a 3-run homer, but replay showed it was just foul, and then he came back to hit a 2-run single. He retires in each of those at-bats, and who knows. But
well, the big 2-out dreaded hits. That's how the Indians' offense has worked, clicked all year long. You get a big 2-out base hit, and it really gives you a little incentive. And that's why the Royals are averaging 4 runs on the road. They're playing better on the road than they are at home, and maybe because of those 2-out base hits. And you get that extra offense. Their starters have given them problems. They've had to log a lot of innings coming out of the bullpen, as you mentioned earlier tonight. You know, that's a struggle, you know, when your pitchers are out of the game and you constantly have to battle uphill offensively. Sometimes you try to do too much. When this team can get a lead, they can relax a little bit, and it looks like they're having fun, and they did that tonight. Takes a little bit of pressure off you offensively.
Took the pressure off the big starter, Will Smith,
Yes,
that's for sure.
It sure did.
Fouled off by Moustakas in a full count.
And every team, I don't care, every team goes through it. Throughout the course of the year, where your offense is struggling, guys are trying to do too much, and you're just not firing on all cylinders. When you watch a team that's playing well, you're getting good pitching and timely hitting, and your bullpen works. It's fun to watch. But I mean, teams have their spurts.
The payoff pitch, swung on and missed. 2 down in the inning. Well, that's why what you just talked about, exactly what you just said, is why teams like the '95 Indians were so amazing and so special, because that just is not the norm to do what they did, to run roughshod over the competition for a full season like that.
They had won, 18 straight home games at one point in time, and it was like, it was something you're if you see it, if you were around to watch that team play and remember any of it, it was something don't ever forget, because it may not come around again. Something very special. You know, there was an atmosphere and an aura in this ballpark where when they took the mound, they knew they were going to win. When Mesa came through that door in the 9th inning, you knew the game was over. When they were down by 3, the crowd seemed to know they were going to find a way to score 2 or 3 runs to tie it or take the lead. It's a really good feeling.
The 0-2 pitch. A ball and 2 strikes. And remember, that was a strike-shortened season. They only played 144 games.
Yeah,
they won 100.
Right. They won 100. That's right.
Imagine if they'd have played the other 18. Who knows where they would have ended up.
They would have won at least 10.
I would think so.
Probably 15, knowing those guys.
The 1-2. Swing and a miss. Frank Coor has struck out for the 3rd time tonight, and Accardo gets 3 punch-outs here in the 7th. But it's 8-2 Kansas City. Stretch time here, where it's brought to you by the Cleveland Clinic. Every life deserves world-class care. Call 216-444-CARE for an appointment today. As we go to the bottom of the 7th inning, stop by Panini's Bar and Grill and get overstuffed. Royal starter Will Smith went 6 innings tonight and allowed just 2 runs. Kelvin Herrera takes over now here in the 7th. 23rd appearance of the year for the right-hander.
Well, this is a guy that he can bring it. We watched him early in the year in Kansas City. He's a young kid, but boy, he was up. He was triple digits on their gun. It may not be triple digits, but he certainly gets it. And the kid settled down. Will Smith ended up settling in and pitching a really good ball game. This young man, Herrera, he pitched at 4 different levels in their system last year. So you talk about, you know he has to have a good arm when you climb the ladder that quickly.
Check swing, little roller out near the mound. And Herrera, he threw him out, but Hosmer just didn't hang on to it.
Well, he threw it at about 102 to first. I mean, he put some steam on that ball, and I think it was up the line in front of Carlin as he was running to first base. Take a look at it. I mean, it's almost like he got that ball in on him. That was clocked at 98. But, I mean, look at him fire that ball up, and it's right into the base runner. So he tried to snatch it and pull it back. I don't know if Carlin hit him in the glove or not. We'll tell from this angle.
He just didn't catch it.
Well, that's gonna. No, he didn't. He tried to get his foot off. That's got to be an error on Hosmer, I would think.
Juan Diaz, 0 for 2, and he has hit into a double play each time tonight.
What is it with Carlin? That's the 3rd straight time he's reached on the error.
He's going around the horn, 3, 4, and 5.
Yes, he's tested everybody.
All he needs to get the shortstop now.
Now, Kansas City had 3 errors last night for the first time on the year, but they don't get the double play this time.
Juan Diaz with a base hit to right field, and the Indians have their first 2 on with nobody out in the 7th inning.
Yeah, he said enough of that.
Isn't that amazing, though? They had their first 3-error game of the season last night. They follow that up with a clean 3-error game here tonight.
That's, I don't know how, but it just happens that way. Diaz finds the hole. So the bottom part of the lineup sets the table. They'll get the first 2 guys aboard. The Indians now with 5 hits.
And Chu takes a strike. Left-hander Tim Collins getting up in the Royals bullpen. Indians down a half dozen, batting with 2 on, nobody out here in the bottom of the 7th inning. And Herrera's 2-strike pitch. Missed inside with it. 99 miles an hour. Carlin and Diaz aboard here to start the inning.
That's amazing, isn't it? Redbird. Well, as Chu goes down.
First out in the inning. Herrera gets the strikeout. 6th strikeout for Indians hitters tonight.
Well, let's see. That's a 89. That's his changeup, believe it or not, folks. That's his changeup at 89 miles per hour. Look at him. See him hold it deep in the hand? Good shot, guys. And there's the movement. Circle change gets Chu for out number 1. Redbird just informed me. I mean, not that anybody wants to know, but he knows I like this stuff. The last Indian to reach 3 times in one game via the era. Walt No Neck Williams. Back September 11th in 1973 against the Yankees. So we got to come up with George No Neck Carlin reaching. I mean, he...
Off the plate. Herrera waiting for it, fields the fair catch in foul ground, and then it's a foul ball. So
home plate umpire's call. He was right there. That ball goes high off the plate. Herrera coming over. And it is foul. He's in foul territory. It's about a foot foul, and you can see the umpire right on it. He throws it anyway. He's trying to get Hosmer killed over there. The umpire's jumping out of the way.
Kipnis shoots it right back to the screen. 0-2 the count. Kipnis back to the mound. Herrera knocks it down. Throws to first to get him. 2 down. So 2 on, 2 out. Runner second and third for Asdrubal Cabrera, who is 1 for 3 on the night.
I'll tell you what, this guy, you better be ready at any position. He slaps that ball down. He jumps on it. I mean, there's nothing easy about him when he gets ready to throw. Got the second out. The guys move up to second and third. Base hit right here. Could be fun. Could be a lot of fun. You cut the lead in half, make it an 8-4 game with a lot of, 7 outs left.
And Asdrubal Cabrera waits the pitch, takes a called strike. Asdrubal quickly in the hole, 0-2. Boston leading Detroit 5-2. They're in the 6th at Fenway. White Sox have opened up a 6-2 lead over Tampa down in St. Pete. And the 2-strike pitch. Up and in. That really leaned him back.
That had triple digits.
Yes, it did.
That had triple digits right there.
Hondo.
This kid, he's got a good arm. But, I mean, he throws it, it looks like about an easy 97.
A little bit low. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Luke Carlin at third, Juan Diaz at second with 2 down in the 7th inning. Cabrera pops it up. Right field.
Came with back-to-back changeups.
Giavotella makes the catch, and that'll end the inning. Indians strand a pair through 7. It's 8-2 Kansas City.
by the authority of the Cleveland Indians and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Cleveland Indians.
Well, the Indians down 8-2 as we go to the 8th inning. Jeremy Cardo, who worked a scoreless 7th inning, will stay on to work the 8th. He allowed one base hit, but he struck out 3 in the inning. He'll face Eric Hosmer, Alcides Escobar, and Gerard Dyson for Kansas City. Hosmer singled and scored his first time up. You were talking before about No Neck Williams. What year was that?
73.
Well, on this date in 1976, milestone moment in your career, it was May the 29th, the 29th of the month. Is the 29th of the month, is that a special day for you?
Yeah, I must have hit my first Grand Slam.
You hit all 3 of your Grand Slams on the 29th.
I know.
What is it about the 29th?
I don't know.
It's close to payday, that's why.
Well, there's nothing wrong with that. You time it right, don't you?
Well, maybe I'll get another check if I knock another one out of here. Now, how about that? All 3 of your Grand Slams. August
July
29th,
1975,
Vic Albury of the Twins. May 29th, 76, off Tom Murphy of the Brewers.
My other one's off a left-hander, your buddy.
That's right, July 29th, 79, off Ken Kravik. Luke Carlin throws out Eric Hosmer, 1 down. That brings us to Miller time, brought to you by Miller Lite. And Luke Carlin with an odd feat here tonight. He's reached 3 times on 3 errors by 3 different fielders.
Second baseman, second one. I mean, Hosmer headed sky high. And the third one right here, the pitcher is going to throw up, and it's on Hosmer. So No Neck Carlin reaches 3 times. The 29th in 2012.
It all comes around. Did you play with that guy?
In spring training I did. Never during the year because he wasn't up here. He was gone by then.
Now Luke Carlin pressed into duty with the injury to Lou Marson. Remember, he was called up just to give them some backup help from Marson when Santana went on the 7-day concussion disabled list. And then Marson got hit in the face by a pitch in Chicago. He's got some stitches in the left corner of his mouth there. He's hoping to be back in action tomorrow. But Luke's done a nice job. Offensively, came in with 3 hits in his first 6 at-bats and then reaching 3 times on errors here tonight. Alcides Escobar 0 for 2, hit by a pitch and scored back in the 2nd inning. Indians-Royals wrap up this 3-game series with a 12 o'clock game tomorrow here at Progressive Field. No TV tomorrow. If you can make it down here to the ballpark, it'll be Jenmar Gomez against Bruce Chen. Weekly bounce to first. Lopez will take it himself, 2 away. Our in-game box score brought to you by your Northern Ohio Hyundai dealers, who invite you to see the 2012 Sonata. Visit NorthernOhioHyundaiDealers.com today. Mike Moustakas, really the big wheel for the Royals here tonight. 2-run homer in the first, 2-run single in the second, both coming with 2 outs. And he did a lot of the damage against Justin Masterson here tonight. Masterson wound up striking out 8. Arcardo has whipped 3, so that's 11 Royals that have struck out in the game. But they've pounded out 10 hits, and they've scored 8 runs. One and 2 the count on Dyson. down on the dirt. Little chopper foul. Dyson awaits the 2-2 from Accardo. Popped back out of play. The Indians could be losing their grip on first place in the Central Division as the White Sox continue to beat Tampa Bay 7-2. They're in the 8th inning down in St. Petersburg, Florida. Detroit losing to Boston 5-2. Tigers started the night 4 games in back of the Tribe in 3rd place. Dyson with a grounder to first. Lopez will go himself. And a 1-2-3 inning for Jeremy Accardo. We'll go to the bottom of the 8th. Tribe down a half dozen. The 8th inning. Royals go back to their bullpen for left-hander Tim Collins. He's working in his 23rd game of the year.
Always seems like Tim Collins comes in and pitches against the Indians throughout the course of his career. Between last year, he was the only left-hander in the Kansas City bullpen. This year they had options, but now, as I mentioned earlier, they have 3 left-handers on the bench. They also have Jose Majerus, so they have 2 left-handers in that pen now.
And a curveball for strike 1 to Lopez, who was 1 for 3 on the night with an RBI single. That came back in the first. Swung on and missed. Collins ready with the 0-2. including Will Smith, who started tonight. The last 6 starts by an opposing left-handed pitcher against the Indians, all 6 have gone at least 6 innings, and all 6 have allowed 2 earned runs or less. Rip foul. Not surprisingly, none of them has suffered a defeat. 3 of them have had no decisions. Will Smith potentially could be the 3rd straight to earn a victory. The 2-2. Full count. And the Indians will face another left-handed starter tomorrow afternoon in Bruce Chin.
Yeah, he's tough, no matter, who he pitches against.
Be the 8th pitch of the at-bat for Lopez as he tries to get aboard to start the 8th. And Lopez with a hard ground ball to short. Escobar.
Look at that arm.
Throws him out, 1 away. Our highlight reel brought to you by your Northeast Ohio Ford dealers, and Will Smith in just his 2nd big league start. Well on his way to earning a victory. He went 6 innings, allowed 2 runs on 4 hits, walked 2, struck out 5.
Yeah, 22-year-old are looking for that first major league win.
Michael Brantley, 1 for 3 on the night. High pop foul, out of play. The Indians and Royals wrap up the series tomorrow at noon here at Progressive Field. Then an off day Thursday. Indians will host their charity golf outing, and then the Tribe welcomes the Minnesota Twins over the weekend. Breaking ball in for a strike. We'll have Friday night's game for you right here on Sports Time Ohio as Derek Lowe goes against Carl Pavano. Two balls, 2 strikes. Nick Hagedorn up in the Tribe bullpen. Curveball hit to center. Dyson backpedals a few strides to make the catch. 2 away. Every home run hit by the Indians this year means Rick and I are each donating $5 to the Gathering Place, while Great Clips will donate $50. And our season total, $2,460. Great needs, great deeds, Great Clips. 2 down for Aaron Cunningham. 1 out of 3 on the night with a base hit back in the 3rd inning. They're in the bottom of the 8th now in St. Pete, where the White Sox lead the Rays 7-2. Boston still leading the Tigers 5-2 in the 7th at Fenway. Fouled out of play. Seattle beating Texas down in Arlington 4-1. They're in the 5th. Mariners trying to end the Rangers' 4-game win streak. Meanwhile, the Angels in action later tonight, going for their 8th straight win. They're finally starting to put it together. They're back to 500 on the year. Now the 2-1. Cunningham awaits the 2-2 from Tim Collins. And he strikes out to end the inning. We'll go to the ninth. 8-2 Kansas City. Field, and it's an 8-2 Kansas City lead. Nick Hagedorn coming on for the 16th time this year. He worked an inning in the third yesterday in the ballgame. But he gets the call back here tonight with the Tribe down a half dozen. No wins or losses, ERA 2.35. He's really done a nice job. Indians bullpen is a little shorthanded right now because of the injuries that are not DL situations at the present time. And so the Indians are carrying essentially an extra position player, so that bullpen is down a man. And Manny Acta says he does not want to go much longer with that. But he figures once Cabrera gets back and you know he's going to play back in an everyday role, then you could potentially send Juan Diaz back, and then you'll get your pitcher back.
How long are you going to keep Hafner around?
Well, I think there's a decision coming on that tomorrow.
There should be.
He's supposed to run, and if he can tolerate the pain with that knee, then he'll try to play. And
I mean, you're basically two guys short now.
If he can't, then you've got to put him on the DL.
Yeah, you got to get somebody up here that can play, because Hafner, you know, when you think about it, if his knee is that bad, you think about it, we're going to interleague play here. He's not going to help anyway, except pinch hit.
Yeah, the next road trip, you're going to make 2 trips to National League cities where you won't have the DH available. Next road trip starts with 3 in Detroit, then you'll have 3 in St. Louis, followed by 3 in Cincinnati.
Right.
So there's 6 games where he will be limited to pinch hitting at best. In any event, we should know more about his status going forward tomorrow.
Well, and it's a quick turnaround with the noon game. So.
Yeah.
I'm sure they'll know everything in place and players called by Friday.
Yeah, then you've got
when
the
it's
off
all
day.
said and done with the off day, then you got a whole day to you retool and do whatever you have to do and be ready to go on Friday.
Alex Gordon pops it sky high right at home plate. Luke Carlin discards the mask. And he's got it. 2 down. Well, we'll look back at what happened tonight on the Conrad's Tire Express and Total Car Care postgame show after it's all said and done. And we'll get you set up for the series finale tomorrow. Al will have highlights from around the league. He'll have the latest on what's happening with the White Sox down in St. Pete and what's going on with the Tigers at Fenway. The 0-1. A strike is called, and the count 0-2. Johnny Giovitello with a couple of hits tonight. He has scored a couple of runs. He drove in one. Up too high, 1 ball, 2 strikes. Out of play. Royals have put up 10 hits on the board tonight. So have the Orioles, the Blue Jays, the Red Sox, the White Sox. A lot of teams got their hitting shoes on tonight.
Yeah. Well, really, the bulk of this game was the first 2 innings.
That's a great point. Royals haven't done anything really since.
No, they did get that run in the 6th, but
Hagedorn strikes out Giovitello. The Royals go 1-2-3. We go to the bottom of the 9th, 8-2 KC. Aaron Crow coming on for the Royals. after Tim Collins worked a scoreless eighth.
Crow, the 23rd time he is appearing in a ball game, 20 2/3 innings, 20 strikeouts. Got a very good slider, good fastball. What is it? Chisenhall, Carlin, Diaz.
Lonnie Chisenhall looks at a strike over the outside corner. 0 for 3 tonight. He has struck out twice. Pops this one in the air center field, drifting over towards left, and Alex Gordon will come in to grab it. One away. Luke Carlin is looking to hit one of the shortstop. See if he can boot one tonight.
He'd like to find a hole and get a legitimate base hit.
Well, that's true. Actually, he would like to just get a hit, but what a night he's had. I mean, he's reached on an error 3 times by 3 different defenders. First time it was Johnny Giavotella that kicked one off his glove, and then in the 4th, an errant throw by Mike Moustakas, and in the 7th, Eric Hosmer couldn't hold a throw at first base, and it was not easy by any stretch of the imagination. It was probably about 100 miles an hour coming from the pitcher, Kelvin Herrera. Takes a strike, 1-2 the count. Hits one in the air. Left fielder Alex Gordon, the Gold Glover. You know he's not going to boot it. 2 down. That'll bring up Juan Diaz, 1 for 3 on the night. And a strike to Diaz. Foul tipped, and a count 0-2. Shoots it out of play, stays alive. And it's up high. Crow fires. Diaz bounces it to first. Eric Hosmer with the flip, and the game is over. So the Royals even the series at a game apiece with a convincing 8-2 victory here tonight. Will Smith gets his first major league win. The losing pitcher tonight is Justin Masterson, who drops to 2-4. Will Smith with the win is 1-1. Loss drops the Indians to 27-22 on the year, and if the White Sox go on to win, they'll fall a half game behind Chicago into second place in the AL Central. With the win, the Royals are now 20-28 on the year. Time now for our play of the game, brought to you by KeyBank.
Well, let's go back to the second inning, and that's when the bulk of the damage was done. There goes Moustakas, hits a home run, and I'll tell you, 2 runners on, there's 2 outs. They called it a foul ball. Ned Yost wanted the challenge. They went in and took a look at it, and they decided it was a foul ball. Next thing you know, he still gets a base hit to drive in a pair. That capped off a 5-run inning for them in the second inning, and that's all the Royals needed on the night. So Moustakas with a very good night. 2 hits, 4 RBIs.
Play the game brought to you by KeyBank, the home of relationship rewards. Earn reward points and redeem for gifts. So the Indians lay an egg here tonight. They drop it 8-2, and the Royals even the series and knock the Indians off the top of the Central Division standings. We're back with the Conrad's postgame show coming up next.